excuse me, the weekend cannot officially start because there's breaking news Friday evening that the next Nintendo Direct is much sooner than you think. A big leaker with a great track record has come through and said that Nintendo is planning their next Direct for the launch week or the week after. In both scenarios, very possible, but very different presentations. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hit that like button if you're excited for this Direct. We know Nintendo has to have a Direct, right? They've always had summer Directs. It's a big time for them to announce games. And with the Switch 2 launching, there's going to be something else to give us more announcements, more dates, and more in store. Now, I thought this thing would be a few weeks after the launch of the system, or maybe even a month after, but PH Brazil, popular Nintendo leaker who's called Nintendo Directs before and has had a lot of information correct about the Switch 2 itself, is saying tonight that the next Nintendo Direct is planned for the week of launch or the week after. Now, let's break down those two. You tell me which you'd prefer in the comments down below. After you hear what I have to say, do you want launch week Direct or after launch week Direct? Because they're very different scenarios. If we get a launch week Direct, that is going to be one more hurrah to make you excited for this system, with a few confirmations of dates to categorize and calendarize the rest of the year. A Direct on the week of the Switch 2 would be before the launch, and Nintendo does their Directs typically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's a pre-launch presentation to really highlight what makes this Switch 2 great, why you should get it, and after you get it, that Nintendo has a plan going forward. And we've seen quite a bit of that plan with Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, Kirby Air Riders, Metroid Prime 4, but we don't have many dates for those games. A launch week Direct, to me, is going to date a game like Pokemon Legends ZA. It's going to date a game like Metroid Prime 4. It's going to date a game like The Legend of Zelda, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment. Kirby Air Riders, maybe that's something that steals some of the spotlight, given that it is a exciting title with Sakurai's involvement and Kirby Air Riders not having been a part of Nintendo's arsenal for many years. Though with Mario Kart there, I feel like they'd have one more Mario Kart trailer, or maybe even tease like Mario Kart World DLC, and not want to murk things up with two different racers at the same time. But a launch week Direct to me is not really so much about brand new announcements, although I still think they would have one or two. They'll have some third-party announcements. Maybe that's where they give Microsoft's plans and Microsoft's hand for what they've got in store for Switch 2. Is it Forza Horizon 5 and Hellblade 2 and a little guy known as Master Chief? Or is it Grounded and Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2? Like, how are they going to line that up? I think you might see some other third-party confirmations like Monster Hunter Wilds, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Dragon Ball Z, games of that sort that could easily come to the Nintendo Switch 2 that we've had rumored for the Nintendo Switch 2, and they would let you know, like, the flood of games is not going to stop. Now, something else to consider is that Summer Game Fest is basically at the launch of Nintendo Switch 2, and maybe there are some games, some companies, etc., that want to show off and demo their games on Switch 2, and maybe a pre-Summer Games Fest Direct allows them to do just that. Nintendo Switch 2 drops June 5th. Summer Games Fest is June 6th. Well, hey, June 3rd feels like a perfect time for a Nintendo Direct, because then these companies can show all of the press and media that are in LA for Jeff Keighley's Big Games Palooza. They can say, hey, come play Assassin's Creed Shadows on Switch 2. Come play Monster Hunter Wilds on Switch 2. Come play whatever we announce. Now it can work out. And maybe Nintendo has thought this through and made sure that they've got the announcements out of the way before Summer Game Fest, so Summer Game Fest can be utilized as a great tool and sounding board and experimental test for a bunch of games and a bunch of press to get huge hands-on with the Switch 2, more than just Mario Kart World, more than just, what's the freaking system game that should be free called? Welcome Tour, come on now. This is more than a welcome, and there are some advantages to having this pre-SGF launch week Direct that could make it very exciting, especially if Nintendo is able to squeeze a few teases in with their marketing and launch hype wagon. Now, Nintendo would probably have one game themselves, I'm guessing. I don't think they'd have a Direct without some nice announcement from their first party, and that could be maybe the big holiday game, or maybe a tease of the big holiday game, something like Luigi's Mansion 4, something like Mario Maker 3. Does Mario 3D sneak in there? We'll have to wait and see. For me personally, though, A direct the week after the launch is far more exciting because that allows Nintendo to focus exclusively on the future. System's already out, Mario Kart World's already out, the marketing for that is going crazy, they've spent tons of money on it. Okay, let's look ahead. To me, even though they're a week apart, it's a different tone. It's saying, okay, you already got your Switch 2, here's what we can look forward to in the next month. Here's the next slate of games. And honestly, in terms of dating things, it's probably very similar. We get a Metroid Prime 4 date and maybe another trailer. We get a Age of Imprisonment date. But I do think that would leave the opportunity for more announcements and less recap, more new faces and less highlighting what's already there. I think either way, whichever direct it falls on, whichever week, there will be more Switch 2 editions. That's something that you can just about count on, I think, for every direct going forward for the foreseeable future. So that could be talking about Mario Wonder getting a Switch 2 edition. I think that's one that is very ripe. And if they don't end up putting out 3D Mario this year, like we predicted, something tied more into the movie in 2026, springtime, then I think Mario Wonder definitely releases. And that's like, hey, there's a nice Mario game this holiday season. It's got DLC, an extra world or two, new content, maybe a new playable character, and bada bing, it's out on Nintendo Switch 2, probably for $80, $60 plus the $20 pack. I think that they will continue to include Switch 2 editions as part of their release cadence and as part of a way to make it feel like there's always a new Nintendo Switch 2 game coming out, even if it's not exclusive to Switch 2. But I do think they will announce more Nintendo Switch 2 exclusives, and that's something I start to see pop up lately, like, okay, after Mario Kart World and DK Bonanza, like, I don't know, Hyrule Warriors is okay, Kirby Air Riders we know literally nothing about. What else is there for me for my new $450 system? And I think Nintendo would utilize a direct after launch to help highlight that. You're definitely seeing the holiday game, and maybe you're even getting teases for games or projects that are further down the line. It would be a very nice opportunity for Nintendo to say, hey, you bought this system, you're seeing all the hype. If you didn't buy this system, you're still seeing all the hype, and now we're going to make it twice as exciting by teasing some 2026 projects. Maybe Animal Crossing gets a tease. Maybe a Smash Brothers Ultimate Deluxe Edition gets a tease. Maybe they have a new project in the works or a Splatoon spin-off, something of the sort that would get people very excited and make those who have not yet got a system feel that FOMO. I suppose Nintendo could do the exact same thing at a pre-launch presentation, but you get what I'm saying? Like, it feels like a pre-launch is more about supporting the system's upcoming release, and it feels like a post-launch is more about looking ahead. Maybe they both look ahead, maybe they both support the release, maybe it can do it all. If it's a big general direct, as it seems like PH Brazil is insinuating here, then maybe they have the space for both. Maybe they are able to highlight what's great about Mario Kart World and Game Chat and the Switch 2 as it launches, as well as bring about great ideas and new exciting reveals for what's coming forward. I'm very pumped about this, as I thought we'd be waiting a bit longer for this direct, but getting something in 2 weeks or 3 weeks just makes this celebration all the more exciting. What do you want to see at the next Nintendo Direct, and are you floored that the early leak is that this thing is far sooner than we expected? You're getting not only a console, a Mario Kart, but the next Nintendo Direct in the next 2 weeks. That is crazy to me. What a time to be alive. The best for a Nintendo fan. I'm freaking loving it. So let me know your takes and thoughts in the comments down below. We'll keep tabs on PH Brazil's posts and his leaks and anything that follows. We'll see if Nate Drake speaks up. We'll see if Nash Weedle speaks up. We'll see if Jeff Grubb speaks up. It does make sense that Nintendo would have a direct during the June or July timeframe. It's just like, hey, when do they want to have it? And it's sounding like they want to have it very, very soon. So thank you so much for watching. Love y'all. See you in the next video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Until next time, SwitchForce out.